Retirement planning isn't just about saving money, it's about finding a place where your savings can actually work for you. With inflation still lingering in everyone's minds and housing costs that seem to climb higher every year, more retirees are getting creative about where they spend their golden years. The good news? North America still has hidden gems where you can live comfortably without draining your retirement accounts. I've spent the past few months digging through cost of living data, talking to recent retirees, and crunching numbers on everything from healthcare costs to the price of a decent cup of coffee. What I found surprised me. There are still places across the United States and Canada where $2,500 a month isn't just survivable, it's actually comfortable. Let's be real for a moment. When most people think affordable retirement, they picture either frozen tundra or desert towns with nothing but tumbleweeds. But that stereotype doesn't hold up anymore. The cities on this list offer genuine quality of life, decent healthcare access, and communities that actually want retirees around. Some have vibrant art scenes, others have stunning natural beauty, and a few have both. What makes a city truly affordable? Before we dive into the list, let's talk about what affordable actually means. I'm not just looking at rent prices in isolation. A cheap apartment doesn't mean much if you're paying through the nose for utilities, healthcare, or groceries. For this analysis, I considered housing costs, both rental and ownership options, healthcare accessibility and costs, transportation expenses, grocery and dining costs, state and local tax implications, and overall cost of living indices compared to national averages. The $2,500 monthly budget includes everything: housing, food, utilities, healthcare, transportation, and a little left over for actually enjoying retirement. According to recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American aged 65 and older spends about $52,141 annually, which breaks down to roughly $4,345 per month. That means we're looking at cities where you can live for almost half the national average without sacrificing quality of life. The United States, where your dollar stretches further. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne keeps showing up on affordable living lists, and there's a reason why. This Midwestern city of about 270,000 people offers a cost of living that's approximately 15% below the national average. The housing market here is genuinely accessible. The median home price hovers around $195,000, and if you're looking to rent, you can find a decent one-bedroom apartment for $750 to $900 monthly. Two-bedroom places typically run between $950 and $1,200. That leaves substantial room in your budget for everything else. Healthcare is solid here, with Parkview Health and Lutheran Health Network providing comprehensive services. The city has invested heavily in its downtown revitalization over the past decade, bringing in new restaurants, entertainment venues, and cultural attractions. The Fort Wayne Museum of Art is free to the public, and the city hosts numerous festivals throughout the year. One retiree I spoke with, Margaret, moved here from Chicago 3 years ago. I was skeptical at first, she told me. But I've been pleasantly surprised. My rent is half what I paid in Chicago, the people are friendly, and there's more to do than I expected. I'm actually saving money every month now instead of watching my savings shrink. 2. Wichita, Kansas. Wichita doesn't get the attention it deserves. Kansas's largest city offers a cost of living about 16% below the national average, with housing being particularly affordable. The median home price sits around $185,000, while renters can find one-bedroom apartments for $650 to $850 monthly. Utility costs are reasonable too. Expect to pay around $150 monthly for standard apartments utilities. The city has a surprisingly rich cultural scene. The Wichita Art Museum houses an impressive collection of American art, and Old Town, the city's entertainment district, offers restaurants, bars, galleries, and regular live music. The city's park system includes over 160 parks, and the Arkansas River Path provides miles of walking and biking trails. Healthcare is anchored by several major hospitals, including Wesley Medical Center and Via Christi Health. Kansas doesn't tax Social Security benefits, which is a nice bonus for retirees. The state does tax other retirement income, but the overall tax burden remains moderate. 3. Toledo, Ohio. Sitting on the western edge of Lake Erie, Toledo offers waterfront living without the typical waterfront price tag. The cost of living here runs about 20% below the national average. Housing is incredibly affordable. The median home price is around $145,000, one of the lowest on this list. Renters can find one-bedroom apartments for $600 to $800, with two bedrooms typically ranging from $800 to $1,100. Toledo has invested significantly in its healthcare infrastructure. ProMedica and Mercy Health operate major hospital systems here, and the Cleveland Clinic has a presence in the region. The Toledo Museum of Art is considered one of the finest art museums in the country, with free admission and a collection that rivals institutions in much larger cities. The Metroparks Toledo system comprises over 15,000 acres of parks, nature preserves, and trails. If you enjoy outdoor activities, you'll find plenty to keep you busy. The city also has a revitalized downtown with new restaurants and entertainment options that have breathed fresh life into the urban core. 4. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga represents a different kind of affordable city, one that's been experiencing a renaissance but hasn't yet priced out retirees. The cost of living is about 11% below the national average. The median home price is around $285,000, which is higher than other cities on this list but still reasonable. Renters can find one-bedroom apartments for $950 to $1,300 monthly. Tennessee doesn't have a state income tax, which means your Social Security and retirement account withdrawals aren't taxed at the state level, a significant advantage. What sets Chattanooga apart is its quality of life. The city has become a tech hub with gigabit fiber internet available citywide, the first city in the Western Hemisphere to offer this. The Tennessee Riverwalk stretches for 13 miles along the waterfront, and the city is surrounded by mountains and outdoor recreation opportunities. Erlanger Health System and Chi Memorial Hospital provide comprehensive healthcare services. The city has a vibrant art scene, craft breweries, and a downtown that's genuinely walkable, something increasingly rare in American cities. 5. Springfield, Missouri. Springfield offers small city charm with big city amenities at a price point that's hard to beat. The cost of living is approximately 18% below the national average. Housing is genuinely affordable here. The median home price is around $195,000, while one-bedroom apartments rent for $650 to $850 monthly. Utilities run about $140 per month on average, and groceries cost roughly 8% less than the national average. The city has two major healthcare systems, Mercy and Cox Health, both operating large hospitals and numerous clinics. Missouri doesn't tax Social Security benefits, and property taxes are relatively low compared to many states. Springfield's location is appealing too. You're about 3 hours from Kansas City, 4 hours from St. Louis, and in the heart of the Ozarks. The city has over 100 parks, and nearby Table Rock Lake and the Branson Entertainment District offer additional recreation options. Canada, affordable living north of the border. 6. Moncton, New Brunswick. Moncton is probably the most affordable city in Canada where you'd actually want to live. Located in the Maritime Provinces, this city of about 80,000 offers a cost of living significantly below Canadian averages. Housing is the big story here. The average home price is around $275,000 Canadian dollars, roughly $200,000 US dollars, and rental costs are remarkably reasonable. A one-bedroom apartment typically rents for $900 Canadian dollars to $1,200 monthly, $650 US dollars to $875, while two bedrooms run $1,200 Canadian dollars to $1,600, $875 US dollars to $1,160. New Brunswick has the lowest electricity rates in the Maritimes, and the provincial government offers various tax credits and benefits for seniors. The city has 2 hospitals and excellent healthcare access through Canada's public healthcare system, a major advantage for retirees concerned about medical costs. Moncton is officially bilingual, English and French, though you can get by perfectly well with just English. The city has been growing steadily, with new restaurants, shops, and cultural venues opening regularly. The Bay of Fundy is nearby, offering some of the world's most dramatic tides and stunning coastal scenery. 7. Regina, Saskatchewan. Regina might not be the first place that comes to mind for retirement, but hear me out. This prairie city offers an incredibly affordable cost of living and a surprisingly high quality of life. The average home price is around $320,000 Canadian dollars, $232,000 US dollars, and rental costs are very manageable. One-bedroom apartments rent for $950 Canadian dollars to $1,250 monthly, $690 US dollars to $910, with two bedrooms ranging from $1,200 Canadian dollars to $1,600, $875 US dollars to $1,160. Saskatchewan doesn't tax seniors' incomes as heavily as some provinces, and the Saskatchewan low-income tax credit provides additional relief. The city has excellent healthcare facilities, including the Regina General Hospital and Pasqua Hospital. Yes, winters are cold, there's no getting around that. But the summers are beautiful, and the city has adapted to its climate with an extensive system of indoor walkways connecting downtown buildings. Wascana Center, one of the largest urban parks in North America, offers 2,300 acres of green space right in the city. 8. St. John, New Brunswick. New Brunswick appears twice on this list, and that's no accident. St. John, the province's largest city, offers coastal living at inland prices. The average home price is around $240,000 Canadian dollars, $174,000 US dollars, remarkably low for a waterfront city. Rentals are affordable too, with one-bedroom apartments going for $900 Canadian dollars to $1,200 monthly, $650 US dollars to $875. St. John is Canada's oldest incorporated city, with a historic downtown that's been undergoing revitalization. The Bay of Fundy location means you get dramatic coastal scenery, whale-watching opportunities, and access to some of Canada's most beautiful natural areas. The city has two main hospitals and comprehensive healthcare services. New Brunswick's lower cost of living means your retirement dollars stretch further here than in most Canadian cities. The city has a growing art scene, with galleries, theaters, and the annual TD St. John Port City Royal International Arts Festival. 9. Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Trois-Rivières offers an opportunity to experience French-Canadian culture at a fraction of Montreal's cost. Located halfway between Montreal and Quebec City, this city of about 140,000 has a cost of living well below Canadian averages. The average home price is around 250,000 Canadian dollars, 181,000 US dollars, and rentals are extremely affordable by Canadian standards. One-bedroom apartments rent for 700 Canadian dollars to $950 monthly, 510 US dollars to $690, some of the lowest rates in Quebec. You'll need at least basic French to live here comfortably, as it's predominantly French-speaking. But if you're up for that language adventure, or already speak French, the city offers excellent value. Quebec has strong senior benefits and healthcare coverage, and the province's cultural richness adds significant quality of life. The city has 2 hospitals and comprehensive healthcare services. It's also a university town, which brings cultural events, performances, and a youthful energy that balances the retiree population. The St. Lawrence River waterfront has been beautifully developed with parks and walking paths. 10. Windsor, Ontario. Windsor rounds out our list as Canada's southernmost city, sitting directly across the Detroit River from Detroit, Michigan. This gives it a unique cross-border culture and milder winters than most Canadian cities. The average home price is around 460,000 Canadian dollars, 334,000 US dollars, higher than other Canadian cities on this list but still manageable. Rentals offer better value, with one-bedroom apartments renting for 1,100 Canadian dollars to $1,400 monthly, 800 US dollars to $1,020. Windsor's big advantage is its proximity to Detroit, giving residents access to American entertainment, shopping, and cultural attractions while maintaining Canadian residency and health care. The city has several hospitals and medical centers, with additional healthcare options just across the border. The mild climate, by Canadian standards, makes Windsor appealing for retirees who want to stay in Canada but avoid harsh winters. The city has numerous parks along the riverfront, with views of the Detroit skyline. The University of Windsor brings cultural events and a college town atmosphere. Making the budget work, a realistic breakdown. Let's talk numbers with a real example. Here's how a $2,500 monthly budget might look in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Housing, one-bedroom apartment $850 utilities, electric, water, internet $180 groceries, $350 health care, supplemental insurance, prescriptions $300 transportation, car insurance, gas, maintenance $250 dining out and entertainment, $300 miscellaneous and savings, $270. Total, $2,500. This isn't bare-bones living. This budget includes eating out occasionally, maintaining a car, and having money left over for unexpected expenses or travel. In more expensive cities, that same $2,500 might barely cover rent and groceries. The healthcare question. Healthcare costs are the elephant in the room for American retirees. Medicare covers a lot, but not everything, and supplemental insurance matters. In the U.S. cities on this list, you'll find adequate healthcare facilities without the price premiums of major metropolitan areas. Most have multiple hospitals and comprehensive medical services. The key is factoring in Medicare supplement insurance costs, typically $150 to $300 monthly depending on coverage. For Canadian cities, the public healthcare system covers most medical needs, though you might want supplemental insurance for prescriptions, dental, and vision care. These supplements typically cost $100 to $200 monthly, $75 to $145. The social factor. Here's something the data doesn't capture. Will you actually be happy there? Affordable living doesn't mean much if you're miserable and isolated. The cities on this list were chosen partly because they have established communities, cultural amenities, and things to do. They're not ghost towns or places where you'll be bored within a month. That said, research is crucial. If possible, visit for an extended period before committing. Rent an Airbnb for a month, explore the neighborhoods, talk to locals, check out the grocery stores and restaurants. Get a feel for whether you can actually see yourself living there. Some people thrive in smaller cities where life moves slower and community connections run deeper. Others need the energy and diversity of larger urban areas. Neither approach is wrong, it's about knowing yourself. Tax implications matter. Tax treatment varies significantly across these locations, and it can make a substantial difference in your actual spending power. States like Tennessee, Florida, and Texas don't have state income tax, which means your Social Security and retirement account withdrawals aren't taxed at the state level. Other states like Kansas and Missouri don't tax Social Security benefits but do tax other retirement income. Property taxes vary widely too. Indiana and Ohio have relatively moderate property taxes, while some areas have higher rates but offer senior exemptions or freezes. In Canada, the tax situation is more uniform federally, but provincial differences exist. New Brunswick has lower overall tax rates compared to provinces like Ontario or British Columbia, and various provincial programs provide tax relief for seniors. Consult with a tax professional familiar with your specific situation before making any decisions. The few $100s you spend on expert advice could save you thousands annually. The wild card, remote healthcare. One trend that's making smaller cities more viable for retirees is telemedicine. Many healthcare needs can now be addressed through video consultations, reducing the necessity of living near major medical centers. That said, you still want reasonable access to hospitals and specialists for serious issues. All the cities on this list have at least one major hospital and various specialist practices. For truly specialized care, you might occasionally need to travel to larger regional medical centers, but this is true almost anywhere outside major metropolitan areas. Climate considerations. Let's address the weather situation honestly. Several cities on this list have cold winters. Fort Wayne, Toledo, Regina, these places get snow and freezing temperatures. But here's the thing, cold weather cities have adapted. They have excellent indoor activities, enclosed shopping areas, and communities that embrace winter rather than shutting down. Plus, heating costs in the Midwest are generally reasonable, and modern heating systems make indoor life perfectly comfortable. If you absolutely cannot tolerate cold weather, focus on southern U.S. options like Chattanooga or Springfield. But if you can handle winter, or even enjoy it, don't automatically rule out northern cities. The cost savings might be worth bundling up a few months per year. The bottom line. Retiring affordably doesn't mean retiring to some boring, culturally barren place where you count pennies and live in isolation. The cities on this list prove you can have both affordability and quality of life. The key is being strategic and honest with yourself about what you actually need versus what you think you need. Do you really need to be in a major metropolitan area, or would a mid-sized city with lower costs and less congestion actually improve your quality of life? The $2,500 monthly budget is realistic in these locations, but it requires discipline and smart choices. It means cooking at home more often than eating out, maintaining your car properly to avoid expensive repairs, and taking advantage of free or low-cost entertainment options. But here's what I've learned from talking to retirees who made these moves: most don't feel like they're sacrificing. They feel like they're living smarter. They have financial breathing room, less stress about money, and often more fulfilling social lives in smaller communities. Retirement should be about enjoying life, not constantly worrying about outliving your savings. These 10 cities offer a path to financial security without forcing you to live like a hermit or give up on cultural amenities, healthcare access, and community connection. The question isn't whether you can afford to retire in these places; the numbers show you can. The real question is whether you're willing to think differently about where home might be. Sometimes the best life isn't in the most expensive zip code. Sometimes it's in places you never considered, where your money works harder and stress levels drop lower. That's the real luxury retirement should provide.